ladies and gentlemen, Geburan Quiet here. Today's video, I'm going to go over the moon and everything that it deals with and so on and so forth. So let's get right on with it. Now, the moon deals with all things of an astral clairvoyant nature. I'm going over my PDF slash text file that I made for myself with all of the information of Yesod that I wrote into it so that I can just read it for the first half of this video. And then I'm going to go over my own experiences with dealing with the moon as a Kabbalistic sphere. In any case, starting from the beginning, the moon deals with all things of an astral clairvoyant-like nature. It also rules over Cancer, and Cancer deals with finances, clairvoyance, relation to the house, such as real estate. It deals with daily affairs. It deals with fast movement, and as well as it deals with one's emotions, similar to Lilith, astrologically speaking. But the difference between the moon and Lilith is that Lilith deals with emotions that are hidden, one's hidden emotions, while the moon deals with one's surface level emotions, astrologically speaking. And it also deals with destruction, but in a financial, emotional way. So making one financially as well as emotionally unstable and whatnot. And Cancer is a cardinal sign, and it deals with water, which is what the moon primarily rules over as an element. And when it comes to Cancer, to summarize Cancer as a whole, the key word here is tenacity. And when it comes to the moon is a really fast, it's a really fast moving planet, astrologically speaking, as well as in general. The moon moves between 12 to 15 degrees through a zodiac each day, as well as in total, it moves through all 12 zodiac signs every 28 days. So there's really no other planet that moves so fast as the moon moves. So that thing literally just races through the signs literally every single day. If you open up your astrological software, let's just say around like 8 a.m. If you open it up at let's just say around 12 a.m. at night, the moon will be the moon will be in a whole different position entirely, literally. Like, it moves really, really fast. So yeah, that is pretty much that. One thing that I also forgot to mention as well is that the moon also deals with hidden affairs. So it deals with stuff that is hidden and not really hidden, stuff that's lost, better said, stuff that is considered lost, like a missing person, a missing item. You'll see this if you're an occultist and you deal with a lot of lunar spirits, one or two of them. So let's just say 8 out of 10 spirits will be 2 out of 10 spirits will be skilled in finding things that are lost, such as an infernal spirit that I'm familiar with named Anata. So yeah. And when it comes to lunar spirits in general, they deal with everything that I've mentioned above. These are just the basic traits of what they could be skilled in. But in general, it's heavily reliant on their degree in Cancer, because a spirit that is associated with the moon could deal with something that's, the moon primarily doesn't really deal with indirectly. It could deal with something else entirely. But in general, it all depends on their degree in Cancer, such as such as 15 degrees, 28 degrees, 12 degrees, and etc., etc., etc. Now, moving on, the moon is primarily ruled over by beloved Archangel Gabriel, my good, beautiful astral friend Gabriel, and its holy number is 9, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that is the case. Yeah, it rules. Its holy number is 9, and when it comes to how the moon looks like and whatnot, astrally speaking, which is what I'm going to begin going over now. When I've astral traveled to the moon, which I've done so several times, like 9 out of 10 times, most likely 10 times in general or in total. But out of all the times that I astral travel to the moon always has the same appearance, which consists of that of, let's just say, a bunch of little subtropical islands on top of a huge wide ocean body. So and this ocean body is clear. It's like clear salt water. There's nothing more that I can possibly say in relation to its look. It's literally just clear salt water. And there's tropical trees growing out of the sand and whatnot. It's just really beautiful. It's appealing. And when it comes to its overall feeling, how it feels to stand within Yesod's soil, so to speak, it just feels cool. The energy feels nice and cool, not cold or anything like that, just nice and cool, like a nice cool breeze. And its energy is heavily water based. So just by standing there for like a few minutes, you'll feel as if you just took a bath or something, or if you dove into the water itself that lies within Yesod. And that is pretty much all that I can possibly say. The skies are nighttime. Obviously, the skies are dark because it's night. Obviously, since it's the moon, and and yeah, the moon is just really nice and huge within that sphere. It's just beautiful. It also changes colors and whatnot. It changes from purple to blue to yellow, and sometimes to white, so on and so forth. That it bounces back between these lunar based colors. It's really just gorgeous. It's a nice sight to see, such as everything else in the astral. Because, well, uh, stuff that correspond to the astral or stuff that lies within the astral plane itself is just perfect. There's literally no imperfections that lie upon anything that's there, not even the ground, not even the dirt or anything like that. Everything is just perfect, literally picture perfect. And that is pretty much all. Now I'm gonna go over something that is similar to the moon, but not necessarily. I've visited my sixth patron burial, a lunar angel of mine. I've written out an article for him, as well as I shot a video on him, so you guys can tune into that if you like. But I've astral traveled to his personal sphere, which is that of a minor sphere that he has that's similar to the moon. And it's very similar in appearance. It's very similar in astral energy and everything like that, because burial is lunar in nature. He corresponds to Cancer, so it's not too far off. But it's different in terms of certain aesthetics and whatnot due to his nature. It says burial is destructive in nature. His fear is, there's a lot of destructive, like predator based animals that consist of it, such as alligators, crocodiles. um I'm also remembering right now, yeah, small little sharks and whatnot, stuff like that. His fear consists of a jungle. It's like a jungle that takes place in the nighttime, with the moon shining and hovering in the distance and whatnot. And there's small little pockets of water between the lands and whatnot. And it's just gorgeous. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. I still remember the feeling of me when I first astral traveled to his sphere like a month ago or so. And I remember myself diving into the water and just taking a look at the crocodiles and stuff there. And I remember a joke that he also cracked me, talking about that I should watch out because the crocodiles could also show signs of aggression towards me and whatnot, despite me being in his fear and whatnot. But he was just joking, because he later told me that since it's his fear and whatnot, he basically manipulates the animals and whatnot. And yeah, it's a given since it's his fear. But that is pretty much all in relation to his personal sphere. It's just nice and beautiful. For those of you who work with burial, if he ever basically deems you worthy in terms of astral traveling to his sphere, you'll see what I mean. Now, hold on, let me see if there's anything that I missed in relation to going over Yesod. Oh yeah, there's one thing as well. Is that, biblically speaking, if you guys have read the book of Genesis, the first chapter or the first aspect of the Bible, when you literally open it up, besides the company that made that version of the Bible and so on and so forth, and all of that baggage, the first chapter that you read is the book of Genesis, and therein lies a segment that refers to the sun and the moon as the greater and the lesser light of the world. Now, the greater light is simply just it's the light of the world that basically nourishes the earth, or Malkuth, and us being referenced as the children of the sun, we fall under the greater light, because the greater light basically corresponds to all living things. It corresponds to the plants. It corresponds to literally all things that take life and bear life in this metaphysical plane on Malkuth, on earth. Now, the lesser light is a reference to all things of an astral, spiritual nature, such as spirits, the astral plane in general, stuff that is clairvoyant in nature, and so on and so forth. So basically, the lesser light corresponds to anything that is spiritual, and the greater light is the complete opposite. And yeah, it's another reference to why spirits used to always show up at nights back in the day before infrastructure was so prominent within modern times like how it is today. Spirits used to really heavily roam the night skies and whatnot, to the point in which people used to have to tell everyone around them to basically, don't go out at a specific time of the night, or to quickly make their way inside of their houses and whatnot, because they could run into something very abnormal outside, and stuff like that, and it's simply just in reference to, the astral falling under the moon and whatnot. Everything that is remotely psychic in nature is ruled over by the moon itself. Not only that, but another thing too that I forgot to mention is that there's a saying that I've explained in many different videos before. You guys have most likely heard of it or have tuned into my videos that I would reference this saying, but it's a saying that goes from mental to astral to physical. And when a thought manifests, it stems from Kathir. Then it makes its way within your mind, the highest part of your astral body that stores thoughts and your mind and etc. And everything else. And that thought simply just floats around in Yesod, which is your mind, until you actually bring it to the physical plane. And it could be anything really. It can be, oh, I'm hungry. That thought literally gets created in an instant from Kathir. Then it makes its way to sit around within Yesod, which is your mind, until you actually make yourself a plate of food, and then that thought actually passes from Yesod to the physical, which is Malkut, and flourishes within the metaphysical plane. And yeah, it's another reference to the moon being the primary source of the astral, and how everything that goes through or goes out of the physical, it has to pass through the astral. When you astral travel, you pass from Malkuts to Yesod, and then you manifest astrally. And when you go back, you pass through Yesod, and then you basically make your way back to the physical, which is Malkuts. And that is pretty much everything. So that's another reference to the whole lesser lights aspect of what the Bible was explaining as well. So yeah, that is pretty much everything in relation to Yesod as a whole. There is pretty much nothing else that I can possibly mention, so I'll leave the video where it is. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and that is pretty much all. Bye bye.